Good morning again, and welcome to the technical session 1C, which is based on COVID-19 and learning, which is a very timely topic. The co-chairs of the sessions will be Dr. Muhammad Anwarul Islam, Associate Professor, Department of Information Science and Library Management, University of Dhaka, Bangladesh, and Mr. P.G. Premadasa, Retired Senior Lecturer at Nilis, University of Colombo. I invite you both to take over the session. Sir.
Thank you so much for joining these sessions and inviting me for chairing these sessions. So, as all the participants, we know, like National Institute of Library and Information Science, that they call is like NILIS, conducting the Research Symposium 2020, and the theme of this and the title of this symposium is like Challenges and Opportunities for Libraries in the New Normal. And we know that this symposium is jointly organized by the South Asia chapter of ASIST. ASIST is an International Information Science Association for Information Science and Technology. And South Asia chapter, like the SAARC countries here, is the member of these chapters. So my name is Muhammad Anwarul Islam, and I'm the chair of these sessions, technical session 1C, which falls under like COVID-19 and learning, COL. And we know that life has been halted in so many ways during the COVID times. Universities, university libraries, and other organizations remain closed. People are staying away from the offices, stay at home, but doing their services, doing their jobs. So like the educational institutions, they're providing and serving educations and other online services to their users and other stakeholders. So this is the sessions where we will hear and learn how the South Asian countries, mostly like in Sri Lanka, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and other countries are providing services to their members. So for these sessions, we have 10 papers. I see the list I have with me, and as per the instructions, every presenter is permitted for 5 minutes to talk on this particular topic, and after all presentations we'll have a question and answer sessions, and this is how the program is organized. Thank you.
I think Mr. Premadasa is also there, so he also can express a few words.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll continue with the session, and later on we can schedule.
Yes. Our first presentation will be done by Mr. P.G. Premadasa, National Institute of Library and Information Sciences, University of Colombo. And S. Praveen. S. Praveen from School for the Blind, Ratmalana, Sri Lanka.
Hello. How someone තියෙන්නේ presentation එකක් යනවා මොකක් හරි කුමාරගේ සම්බන්ධ වෙලා තියෙන්නේ
during COVID-19 lockdown for visually impaired students and academic staff, School for the Blind, Ratmalana 2020. The whole world is suffering from the worst pandemic in almost century because of the new coronavirus. People who belong to the category of the persons with visually impaired face several challenges. One of these challenges is the persons with visually impaired depend on support of their parents for daily living. They find themselves separated and unable to survive during lockdown. According to the World Health Organization, has declared the 2019 outbreak a public health emergency of international concern under the international health regulations. Discrimination of people with visually impaired has grown dramatically over the coronavirus pandemic. Immediately after the pandemic, visually impaired persons who are often deliberately excluded and ignored by other people because of the certain stereotypes blind people that may carry. The communication platform is a vital source for special needs schools and societies, which becoming one of the biggest challenges and places risk on the core competencies needed to tackle the scale and severity of COVID-19 outbreak. The object of this article is how information forms and source influence the visually impaired person's information seeking behaviors. A comparison of how local governments' preparedness and response plan strategies against the pandemic. The study was conducted of 10 children at a school. All visually impaired children of both ages, aged 14 to 20, and staff members. Similarly, conducting online survey interviews in a synchronized chat format was conducted. The first 4 weeks after the COVID-19 crisis, the online questionnaire included questions regarding information seeking behavior to determine difference for information channels and trust various sources for information. Public of government communication agencies response, message retention, and questions. The findings reveal that synchronized use of digital technology media and platforms in line with media multidisciplinary theory. On the other hand, many of the foremost news information channels are considered mainstream news media. However, the second source of information is social media. People rely on their own knowledge and experience informing opinions depend more on the mainstream news media for COVID-19 information, are generally most likely to use honest opinions of the government's communication strategies for effective communication. Finally, the current crisis may reveal dimensions of the trust in public is a general matter. The have to do with the delay in offering information, the lack of consistent instruction data, as well as the lack of clarity and empathy.
Thank you, Mr. Praveen. Our second presenter is IDKL Fernando, and RAPS Senaviratna from University of Ruhuna, Matara, Sri Lanka.
Good day to you all. I am Kusala Fernando, Senior Assistant Librarian, University of Ruhuna. Together with Ms. Sakuntala Siniratna, who also a same Senior Assistant Librarian of the same university, we are going to present today some results of a survey that we conducted to investigate about online services provided during this pandemic season by the university library uh, through the university library websites. So, as we all know, at the moment, this COVID-19 pandemic situation has created an immense impact on the normal civil life of the society, and it has turned everything into a new normal condition, which we need to be act and change upon to the emerging situation. So similarly, the education system is also affected by this new normal condition, and especially the university education, teaching and learning methods are moved towards online and remote learning services. So our problem starts there. So we need to in the our problem is that what are the online services that provided by the academic libraries of the country to promote online teaching and learning for the students. So the objective is depending on that to investigate the online services provided by the university libraries. So the method is very simple. We conduct an online survey within a similar working environment of a computer laboratory at the University of Ruhuna. So 15 people sitting together using the same type of laptops, 15 laptops using at the same time simultaneously they conduct this survey by looking into the logging into the library official websites of each university and note down the services that they provided. So these are the results. So most of the libraries provide opaque services, electronic journal access, institutional repositories, new arrivals, document supply service, recently introduced by the University of Colombo, and most of these libraries provide links to this service as well. Then the paid journals, on-campus and off-campus access. The off-campus access is really useful while they are working at the hostels or their home environments. So that is really important. So this can be considered as a new service. So there are nearly 10 out of 15 universities provide that, and they have also provide links to other valuable online resources. The interlibrary loan system is a conventional system. Library guidelines, past examination papers is also there. Now most universities moving towards providing past examination papers because that is kind of that is becoming very busy during the examination season. So the plagiarism prevention is also like that. However, you may see that there are very few, only one library is at mostly having some specific type of new services. So these new services can be considered as the actual services that emerged during the COVID-19 season. Article index, digital document delivery service, government publications, library tours. Library tours was there, but it's only available in only one library. LMS links available only in one library, likewise. So it can be concluded that still most of the libraries providing the usual services such as ILL and OPACs and everything. So however, it would be better if we could move towards more new technologies like article indexes, digital document delivery service. This digital document delivery service is not the same one as the document delivery service system that we can get information from the British Library. This is something that we scanning, digitizing the recommend readed materials and keep it in related with the OPACs. Then the student can request a number of few copies from it. So it is better that we always moving forward with new technologies. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fernando. And the third presentation will be done by Mohammad Majid Mashrufa from Southeastern University of Sri Lanka.
I am Mohammad Majid Mashrufa, attached to Southeastern University of Sri Lanka as a senior assistant librarian. My topic is sustainability of library and information services during COVID-19 pandemic, a case of Southeastern University of Sri Lanka libraries. As COVID-19 pandemic caused continuous lockdown, closure of libraries, restricted access to circulation services, and social distancing, we had to rethink transformation of services to a new paradigms. The objective of this study is to showcase the initiatives made by our libraries to provide efficient services to library patrons during the crisis of pandemic. And we use documentary analysis and usage statistics of SUSL libraries for this study. Let us come to the findings and discussions. We provided virtual library and information services during the first wave of lockdown. During the new normalcy, we provided both traditional and virtual services by observing the health guidelines. When we consider the virtual services, we provided remote access to scholarly databases via Shibboleth access to e-books, circulated scanned copies of particular chapters of books on the request made by the lecturers, and access to e-repository, e-theses, and online past question papers and subject gateways. To do these all services, we updated our website. User education also transformed to virtual programs. We conducted a series of 10 Zoom webinars for library and information assistants, university academics, and special degree students. Also, we circulated access guides to university academia regarding the electronic databases. We conducted information literacy lectures via Zoom by using our virtual learning environment for undergraduates and postgraduate students. This graph shows how much the university librarians, who are the lecturers of information literacy, were actively involved in teaching through VLE. Similarly, in this graph, we can view that how much the students are actively engaged in learning information literacy through VLE. This slide shows how the trend of article delivery service, literature search support service, and plagiarism checking from 2019 to 2020. Our libraries provide scholarly communication support services. University librarians act as managing editors for university journals, and we help the university researchers to find authentic journals to publish their research findings, and we help archiving research papers in e-repository. This slide shows usage statistics of consortia resources. For Oxford Journal and Taylor and Francis, we have got improvement in the usage except Emerald database. Considering the traditional services, We extended the loan period unlimitedly and we waived off all the fines and circulated print materials during the new normalcy, but with closed access. And we provided study space by maintaining social distancing. As usual, SEUSL libraries also faced a few challenges. We do not have subscribed ebook packages. We could not do home delivery of print materials and we could not provide study space as all the others. And the limited social media usage and digital divide is the big challenge faced by a few students to attend Zoom lectures because of poor coverage and lack of devices. Conclusion. Our libraries have successfully strategized its services to a new paradigm of digital transformation that helps for sustainability of the services. And the new strategic plans will incorporate a few more strategies to face such challenges in future. These are the references. Thank you very much for your patient listening.
Thank you, Mrs. Mashrufa. The next presenters will be M.A.D. Madhushankar from the Department of Sociology, Faculty of Arts, University of Colombo, and K.A.A.N. Tilakaratne from the Institute of Human Resource Advancement, University of Colombo.
Good day to all of you. Today myself, K.A.N. Tilakaratne and M.A. Dishan Madhusankar going to present about the sociological significance of usage of libraries during the COVID-19 pandemic, experiences of Faculty of Arts, University of Colombo. The social significance of the public library is fundamentally its influence on all the individuals comprising the community and on the relationships of these people, one with another. The importance of public libraries can be measured then by the efficiency of their organization and the degree to which they are fulfilling their purpose. As gateways to knowledge and culture, libraries play a fundamental role in society. The resources and services they offer create opportunities for learning, support literacy and education, and help shape the new ideas and perspectives that are central to the creative and innovative society, in particular from a university's perspective. They also help to ensure an authentic record of knowledge created and accumulated by past generations. In a world without libraries, it would be difficult to advance research and human knowledge to preserve the world's cumulative knowledge and heritage for future generations. And in this backdrop, we formulated the research question whether usage of libraries has a significant social impact and it's a social institution in allowing people to get together and acquire, assimilate, and share knowledge and make social interactions with peers, which helps to broaden the horizon of acquired experience. However, with the closing of physical libraries, the significance has been adversely affected, and it remains to be seen whether the digitalization of the physical library has been capable of aiding with maintaining the social significance of the library usage. In order to find this out, we used the Faculty of Arts, University of Colombo as the study area, and as the population, we selected final year undergraduates who are doing a special degree since they are engaged with doing their thesis where they are required to constantly use the library facilities. Study sample consisted of 48 respondents who were selected purposively, and out of which 35 females and 13 were males. The method of data collection consisted of an online survey method. It was a semi-structured questionnaire sent via the Google form, and there was also a narrative analysis that was used to narrate down their experiences which they wrote down. When we come to the findings, the frequency of use, it was found that they prefer the public libraries as they spend around nearly 12 hours per week, while digital libraries they normally engage around 5 hours per week. And then we also measured the sociological significance of library usage from 1 to 5 Likert scale. We checked the agreeability, and it was found that the libraries function as a knowledge hub, means of information storage, a place of knowledge dissemination, place of self-development, a place of social interaction. When we calculated the mean values, all the mean values were tended towards uh, either agree or extremely angry, and also the standard deviation meant that the gathered data was also reliable. And therefore, in concluding, we can say that sociological significance of library usage has remained important even during the COVID-19 period. However, lack of coordination and difficulty of access to the digital library has taken students away from it. Therefore, integration and connectivity of the library facilities with that of the main library has become a sine qua non.
Thank you, Mr. Tilakaratna. The next presentation will be done by ADNL Ruwan Patirana from the Department of Sociology, University of Ruhuna, and ADMR Patirana from the Department of Political Sciences, University of Colombo.
COVID-19 pandemic, university education and role of librarians. COVID-19 pandemic, that is spreading around the world, has caused a huge negative impact on the university education in Sri Lanka. In particular, students miss their education due to university classes in the last few months. University education has sometimes decreased both in quality and quantitatively with the temporary closure of universities where students learn from interacting with the lectures in classroom. However, conducting lectures online has reduced to a certain extent the above issue during the current pandemic period. It is particularly important to pay attention to education of students during turning points in university education, such as basic degrees, masters, as well as that other examinations. So my research problem was on the increase modern that kind of modern library concepts, library service. Why students must use the library physically? Now I would like to explain the importance of this study. As the university community, it is important to contribute to reducing the challenges caused by COVID-19 pandemic. Online education was a novel experience for Sri Lankan university students in Sri Lanka, especially government university students. If university students have had the opportunity to use the library in pandemic period, could be achieved raising a student with logical thinking, improve subject knowledge, positive attitudes and competence, positive rebuilding mental stable, as well as they can complete their assignments, presentations, as well as examination properly by using library. In that kind of situation, we should understand what are the obstacles that students face due to the inability to use library in physically. My objectives of the study, the identify alternative methods to increase their knowledge instead of using library, to identify what are the differences between using library and using internet sources, to understand strategies that should be used students fulfill their aim, then relationships between using students' knowledge and patterns of using library, to identity contributions and role of librarian towards students. According to sample, the researchers based on a qualitative approach, primary data were collected through in-depth interviews with purposive sampling of 50 students chosen among the students who represents government university in Sri Lanka, as well as 5 librarians were selected according to convenient sampling method. Then in-depth interviews with using telephone conversation and data were analyzed qualitatively with using thematic analysis method. According to findings, identify role of librarians, identify identify role of librarians, new strategies they can be used online education. So according to respondent, they explained that ebook service, digital library, uploading past papers and mod papers, learning management system, scan some documents and email category and classifications, and uploading embedded library service are using. So that kind of digital library resources, those are the new strategies they can librarian can be used in that COVID-19 period, as well as a student opinion of inability to library using. This is also main finding on this research. Less interaction among the student and other and librarians, unable to choose relevant and very essential books with using internet, as well as importance of using library for the subject matters assignment, viva and their presentations. Because of that situation, 75 of the respondent in this research, they explained they want to use library physically more than that. uh, in they don't like to use that e-journals and uh, e-materials.
Thank you. Now we move to the next presentation done by WPGL Pereira, Main Library, University of Colombo, and SADHN Suravira from the Department of Library and Information Sciences, University of California.
Welcome to everyone. I am Gayani Lasanta. I would like to present my research study findings under the topic of academic library support for e-learning. Information communication technology innovation affected education, and that has created more opportunities for teaching, learning and research. Universities also started upgrading their curriculum to integrate the advancement of technology. This transformed teacher-centered education to student-centered learning process. In this scenario, academic libraries have a more important role as a main information provider for teaching, learning and research activities. This study conducted before the COVID-19 pandemic, and at that time majority of the library services provided based on physical environment. Objectives: to identify current situation of academic library support for e-learning in university academic work, and to identify the level of academic library support for the faculty teaching and learning process, and also to identify further opportunities in an academic library to support e-learning in university education in Sri Lanka. Research framework. These are the main areas covered in this study: e-learning resources, e-learning services, infrastructure facilities, management policies, and roles and skills of library information professionals. A case study method has been employed and selected single case used for the study. By using stratified random sampling method and Morgan's table, sample size selected. According to the respondents' analysis, more students participated for the study, that is 67.6. Compared to that, academic staff participation is low, but responses were in satisfactory level. Library academic and administrative staff participation and support were in high level. As a result of the data analysis, the study identified that students were expecting modern ICT facilities like computer labs with learning peripherals. Highest number of students were expecting e-based e-learning material, that is in 38%. Frequent information awareness programs related to the use of e-resources requested by 34% of the students. And also students expect modern ICT facilities, that is 25%. Conclusion. A high number of students are using the library ICT facilities when they are in second year or above of their study at the university. All three categories of participants were expecting advanced options in collaboration of ICT for providing services for e-learning. In general, users of the academic library expect library services and resources through emails, short messages, social media, chat groups, online conferencing, e-guiding, online hands-on sessions.
Thank you, Mrs. Pereira. The seventh presentation of this session will be done by Jitmi Prabhasara Vijitadeva and W. Mahesha Piyumali from University of Kelaniya, Sri Lanka.
Lack of technological devices to connect with library services in new normal, a special references on undergraduates in University of Kelaniya. Corona pandemic has impact number of fields in society. Higher education is one of them. Because undergraduates are the one cluster who are going to take over the society in future. E-library services is opportunity to expand their knowledge. How influenced the lack of technological devices to access with e-library during the pandemic is our research problem. Moving on to the objectives of this research is identify the influence of lack of technological devices to connect with e-library services, identify the impact of economical difficulties, and identify the technological devices facilities in their living area. Then, from the population of all government universities undergraduates in Sri Lanka, we got hundreds of samples from University of Kelaniya under convenience sampling method. Then we collected information through questionnaire method. Finally, we analyzed it from SPSS software and represent the data by using tabulation and charts. After collecting data from sample, we could be able to identify that 87.7% of undergraduate daily use internet. From them, 87.6% undergraduate use Wi-Fi to access the internet. Before corona pandemic, 67% undergraduates applied funds for spent internet connection from part-time and 23.6% of undergraduate found money from Mahapolak scholarship. But now 72.6% of undergraduate have to fulfill it by their home. Even 23.6% of undergraduate fulfill it through Mahapolak before the pandemic situation. Now they have to spend Mahapolak scholarship for domestic economic. When it's come to the data gathered from whether undergraduate access e-library services, 74% undergraduate responded that they didn't use e-library services and rest 26% participant responded that they are using e-library services. Then we will consider about the technological devices which undergraduate use for access internet daily and to access library services. So usually 92% undergraduate use smartphone and 51.9% undergraduate use laptop for their access internet usually. And there are 86% undergraduate use smartphone and 37% undergraduate use laptop for access e-library services. We consider about difficulties to access e-library services. 42% undergraduate has lack of technological devices and 24% undergraduate has economical difficulties. We consider about problems which undergraduates have to face because of the lack of accessing for e-library services. So 36% undergraduate couldn't be able to ready for their exam and 35 undergraduate doesn't have source for further readings. When we consider about problems encountered in accessing e-library facilities over the smartphone, participant has mentioned more than one choice. From them, 61% has responded as PDF and Word document doesn't open properly. 57% participants have lack of storage issues. 44% undergraduate have technological issues. When we consider about encountering accessing e-library services over the laptop, there are 23% participants cannot be able to PDF open document on their laptop because the laptop are too old, and 15% participants have storage issues on their laptop. Most critical issue is they have headache, lack of eyesight, and many physical difficulties to face during the pandemic situation while accessing e-library through laptop. The critical thing is they will not allow to go for the government facilitated computer centers. Even there are non centers in 14% undergraduates living area, they will not be able to get opportunities from all of these places. As a result of this research, we found that 87.7 undergraduates are using internet daily. From them, 72.6 have difficulties to accessing e-library services because of the lack of devices. And 61.8% of undergraduates couldn't be able to ready for the exam and some of them cannot be able to complete the assignment. We emphasize that 33% undergraduates have economical difficulties. Even 42.2 undergraduates have non centers in their area. Majority cannot be able to get that opportunity.
When it is come to the conclusion, 72.6% of majority have problems in accessing e-library services due to the lack of technological devices. The main impact of that is the lack of opportunity to do extra reading for ready for the exams. It has been revealed that the physical difficulties have arisen as a result of the continuous use of laptops and mobile phones. Based on research findings, here are the recommendations. University should give offline internet facility to access with e-library. Government supplied computer centers should allow the undergraduate comply with health rules and regulations.
Thank you. The next presentation will be done by Ananya Deka from the School of Library and Information Sciences, Central University of Gujarat, India.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Ananya Deka from School of Library and Information Science, Central University of Gujarat, Gandhinagar. I welcome you all to my presentation and going with the theme of the symposium as challenges and opportunities for libraries in the new normal, my title displays demeanor, determination and difficulties in bridging the gap between LI's education and practice, a virtual internship during COVID-19 pandemic. So let's begin. Coming to the introductory part, library and information science requires a hands-on practice in the real work environment to attain the master's degree. But this is the first time one puts his or her first foot into the professional life to gain a preliminary training of the discipline. But little did we know this unprecedented scenario would trap us all down at our respective places and we have to familiarize with library and its services via internet. I needn't have to familiarize you all with the setting of a developing country, so it was indeed a challenging period for all of us. Have you heard that quote by Sigmund Freud? Out of your vulnerabilities will come your strength. That's what I relied on and successfully completed the 2 months of internship and hence sharing our experiences gained. So I have listed some primacy of allies internship which says to sustain and survive in today's knowledge society, to impart skills on employability, to pace up with the technological advancements and standards, to stand as strong advocates for the user community, and to learn how to learn from experience. That's the most crucial part. So coming to the objectives, the foremost is to share the experience of the virtual allies internship of students during pandemic from India, a developing country setting, and the rest follows. Coming to the methodology adopted to conduct the study, an explanatory literature review was conducted with the following steps. A questionnaire was designed using Google form and sent over mail. 3 subsets of research participants were there as I have mentioned, LIS internship for the supervisors, mentors, and professionals of the Indian Institute of Technology, IIT Central Library, which is located at Gandhinagar, and the SLIS faculty at the Central University of Gujarat, and the internees. So they are the three subsets, and data was analyzed in MS Excel, and data has been collected by a semi-structured questionnaire with open-ended and close-ended questions from the respondents. Coming to the data analysis part, as you can clearly see, there are four figures, out of which the first one showcases that 93% of the people didn't have any idea or experience of this virtual internship, and the 7% various had an experience of the virtual internship. The second figure shows factors that taken into consideration while planning the virtual internship. The highest is being the staff availability and skills, and then comes the time management and all of that. And while the critical challenges were identified, then the administrative planning, execution, and implementation of the virtual internship gained a maximum of 38%, and then measures adopted to overcome the challenges were meticulous planning, time management, technology adaptability, and so on. Coming to the second slide of the data analysis, the last one shows the figure number 7, the probability of acceptance of virtual internship, in which the hypothesis tested exactly correct, where the 50% respondents responded with a yes and 50% were in favor of no. So we can have a very similar setting to this, and we can adopt both the physical and virtual internship at a time. So my next model suggested this, as this chapter is providing us a platform to share our research from despite being at different ends. This model can be implemented by all the allied schools of the developing countries, in which I have mentioned suggestion, their solution, their effect, and their cause. And there are four parts, in which there is in the three subsets I have taken the internship supervisors, the interns, and the faculty members, the three assets. And then there's the setting of the physical and virtual. Coming to the findings, as we saw all of that, there I have kept the percentages over here, and while summarizing the study, 50% of interns stated that time management is crucial factor. Most of the participants considered ICT communication skills, time management, and mindset adaptability as the common factors. Coming to the conclusion, I have included some call out from all the stakeholders, and then we can conclude that research concludes that virtual mode of internship in allies discipline can not only merge the gap between theory and practice, but also can inculcate additional benefits to the community. So these are all. In the end, I'd like to thank Dr. Bhaktigala ma'am for helping me throughout this study, and thank you all for hearing me patiently and giving me your time. Thank you once again.
Thank you. The next presentation will be done by Mohammed Atikuzaman from the Department of Information Science and Library Management from University of Dhaka, Bangladesh.
Hello everyone, welcome to my presentation in the NILIS Research Symposium 2020. Myself Mohammad Atikuzzaman, I have graduated from the Department of Information Science and Library Management, University of Dhaka, Bangladesh, and the title of my paper is LIS Students' Experiences Regarding Online Classes During COVID-19 Pandemic, a Thematic Analysis. COVID-19 has caused damage to every influential sector of Bangladesh, including the education sector. Here are some of the basic information regarding COVID-19. The first COVID-19 case appeared in Bangladesh in 8th March 2020. The educational institutions were closed from 17th March. The general lockdown started here from 26th March, and the first online classes among the public universities of Bangladesh were started by University of Dhaka in July 2020. The main objective of the study is to explore LIS students' positive and negative experiences regarding their ongoing online classes. However, here are some of the research questions based on the objective. The first research question is, how frequently do the students take part in online classes? Which online platform do they prefer most to join their classes? What type of device and internet connection do they mainly use to access their online classes? To conduct the study, an online survey method was used to collect responses from three public universities LIS students of Bangladesh. Those are University of Dhaka, University of Rajshahi, and Noakhali Science and Technology University. A semi-structured questionnaire was designed using Google Forms that included both open and close-ended questions, and it was distributed among the participants using Facebook and Gmail. Only students who were taking part in online classes were the target population. A total of 167 students responded to the survey, and the collected data were analyzed using SPSS software and a thematic analysis approach. Out of 167 students, 79 of them were from University of Rajshahi, 65 were from University of Dhaka, and the rest 23 students were from Noakhali Science and Technology University. And the gender of the students shows that 51% of the students were female, 47% were male, and the rest 2% did not talk about their gender. The education level of the students shows that 87.4% are undergraduate and the rest 12.6% are graduate students. The geographic location of the students shows that 83 students are from village areas, 26 from small town areas, 27 from city areas, and the 31 students are taking part in online classes from metropolitan city areas of Bangladesh. Most of the students always join their online classes. 52 students take part in online classes often, 39 sometimes, and the rest 6 students take part in their online classes occasionally. All of the respondents preferred Zoom, 30 respondents preferred Google Meet, and 20 respondents preferred Google Classroom as their preferable online class platform. Device and internet connection used to access the online classes. Out of 167, 144 students are using smartphone, 19 students are using laptop, 3 students are using desktop, and only 1 student is using tablet to access their online classes. And 64% of the students are using mobile data, 32% of the students are using Wi-Fi connection, and the rest 4% of them are using broadband internet to access their online classes. This slide shows the positive and negative experiences of the students during their ongoing online classes. Based on the opinion of the students, we have developed 6 themes under negative experiences and 3 themes under positive experiences. In negative experience, the first theme is internet issues. The theme 2 is insufficient device. Theme 3 is less attendance. Theme 4 is problematic interaction with the teachers. Theme 5 is lack of attention during online classes. And the last theme is mental illness. In positive experiences, theme 1 is connection to courses. Theme 2 is easy accessibility. And the last theme is time saved. From the findings of the study, it is clear that the students are facing many problems during their online classes. So the policymakers and the stakeholders should come forward to solve these problems. And this was the first attempt in Bangladesh to study the LIS students' positive and negative experiences regarding their ongoing online classes. And here are some of the references that I used to conduct the study. And thank you everyone for your kind patience and time. Thank you.
Thank you. So we have done 9 presentations in this session, and the last presentation will be done by S. Akhtar from Bangladesh.
At first, I want to express my gratitude to the committee for this wonderful opportunity to present my paper in here. I am Suhana Akhtar from Bangladesh, welcoming everyone to my presentation. The paper abstract I am presenting today is on the adaptation of social media in library and information science education to fight against COVID-19 situation, a present scenario in Bangladesh. Firstly, I want to focus on the pandemic situation. As we all know, this COVID-19 situation is going nowhere right now. Like all other countries in the world, Bangladesh is also surviving through this pandemic. According to the World Health Organization reports, in Bangladesh, till January 4, 2021, there has been more than 500,000 confirmed cases, in which just under 500,000 survived this virus and around 7,500 people died. Due to this pandemic, Bangladesh government also imposed continuous lockdown on educational institutions, including their academic libraries. Since almost all of the libraries in here operates manually, the actual situation in terms of LI services is crucial. Despite all of the constraints, still some of the university libraries and national and international institutions are trying to provide LI services to their users by using social media. Among them, the Department of Information Studies and Library Management, East West University was in the front line in adopting social media with their allies education. They organized several webinars by using Facebook, and many national as well as international allies professionals are a part of it. East West University Library provided instant reference service to their students during lockdown and in-house training by using a Zoom app. Library Association of Bangladesh held several online seminars on Facebook. They also organized some of the offline seminars with many precautions to avoid any unnecessary situation. As one of the international organizations in Bangladesh, British Council provided digital library services to their users during this pandemic. They also marketed their digital library platform by using Facebook page. This study will try to focus on some of the main purposes of using social media in allies education during pandemic, especially COVID-19 time, like how social media can reach out to diversified users, how helpful the user interface is, can social media be an easy way of marketing allies education during pandemic situation, can this tool be a friendly way of communicating with users, how safe and secure the service in terms of customers' view. The expectation of this study will revolve around the way of communications and knowledge dissemination via social media. It is expected that the social media can increase the activities of allies professionals by involving more and more users. Since in the present scenario, social media has become a major way of communication, its conjugation with allies will not only propagate the allies' education, but it will be more helpful in strengthening young people's career choice. The outcome of this research has a greater benefit to the society in terms of creating more knowledge-oriented professionals. As the pandemic situation is forcing the allies professionals to become online prone in order to keep pace with the demands, I think this study can bring out the significant results in terms of professionals and users' views. I am Suhana Akhtar and thanking everyone for listening to my presentations. Wish all you a good day.
Thank you. So we have done all the presentation in the session 1, and I again invite our co-chairs to conduct the Q&A session. So you have 10 minutes for the session.
Okay, thank you so much. It was really glad to be to be joined in these sessions, and so far we did hear 10 presenters that did talk about their different issues related to COVID things, and it is really wonderful to hear all the stories that we hear from Sri Lanka, India, and Bangladesh. And you see, this is how libraries are reshaping, changing, because it is not like 10 months the COVID thing arises. So it takes time to adapt with all those things, with the new weapons, the new services. But I'm really amazed to listen the stories, how the library people, the students from these countries bring out the wonderful findings for the audiences here. And I'm sure, like me, all the audiences enjoy all the presenters talk and the areas they represent. So now this is open question and answer sessions. If the audience have any questions or comments or suggestions about their presentations, please feel free to raise and to throw the questions.
Yes, thank you, Professor. I am Premadas, a senior lecturer retired. I am also thank you for all the participants. I think you have done very wonderful works for this research during this COVID-19. Actually, this is time for question and answering. Please introduce your question, then we can hear and we can give some opinions.
As long as I see there are 20 participants here, including the presenters, if I assume like the 10 people here present their papers and the 10 audiences will join in these sessions. And if there is a questions, please share your opinion, comments and concerns about the topics.
Mr. Kumar, you are the first presenter. May I ask question? Yes, can you elaborate a little bit about your research findings? Mrs. Masrupa, then you have introduced the virtual learning environments, discussed the virtual learning environment, and then what about your findings at the end? You have especially mentioned what about that emerald? It has somewhat less rather than others. What is the reason for that?
Good morning, sir.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, we use virtual learning environment. That is the learning management system of our university. So we taught through the VLE, the information literacy as a 2-credit bearing course we conduct for the Faculty of Applied Science students. Then we conduct 10 hours program for MBA, postgraduate students. And it was a very high effective, but we faced a few difficulties because of the digital divide, because a few students cannot attend lectures and due to lack of device and coverage. That's about the virtual learning environment. And you asked another regarding the usage of e-resources. So we compared the 2019 and 20, and Oxford Journals and Taylor and Francis, we got a higher usage, but Emerald, we have like the reason we should expose, but we have taken a preventive measure that we have conducted a training program, virtual training program by with the help of the Emerald trainers. We got their help and we conducted training for all our university academics, postgraduate and undergraduate students together. And more than, yeah. Thank you.
Then, Mr. Mohammed, you are from Dhaka University. You have introduced online classes during this period. Can you explain a little bit about you have selected Dhaka University and institutions? Why you have selected institutions? You have three segments. The Bangladesh University and somewhat institutions. Why you have selected institutions? Mr. Mohammed?
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Atik. You can talk.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir. I have received your question. Actually, those three institutions were the three public universities of Bangladesh who are serving LIS courses, honors and masters courses to their students. So basically, my study was based on those three public universities who are serving LIS courses to their students. And the primary objective of my study was to find out their positive and negative experiences regarding online classes.
That's right. Hello, Mrs. Ananya. You are University, Gujarat.
Yes.
Can you explain a little bit about virtual internship? You have your findings. You have explained virtual internship. It is, I think, 78%.
Yes.
Can you?
So your voice is not clear. Shall I explain the findings?
Yes, my question is your research finding. You have mentioned virtual internship as 78%.
Yes.
Can you elaborate a little bit somewhat?
Sir, in the findings, yes, sir. Firstly, when in a developing country setting, when they were asked that what were the factors that both from the faculty sides and from the organization sides, and for the interns also, the question was there that what factors were taken into consideration while planning for virtual internship. Then, sir, the result came out as 50% of internees stated that time management is crucial factor, while rest 33 and 17% of interns considered ICT communication skills. And sir, when the 78.6 percentage as experience of students, it shows that the benefits acquired from a virtual internship, they stated that better familiarity with technology acquired by the virtual internship. So the percentage is highest, the maximum. So it is 78.6 percentage. So the rest are
Thank you very
flexible.
much.
Yes, sir.
Right,
Thank
thank you very much. Hello,
you.
Mrs. Tata. You are from Bangladesh. Did you consider, we are discussing about the social media. Did you consider about the various type of social media? In your presentation, we couldn't grasp it. I think you all know the types of social media. Did you consider all these things in your research? Can I hear me, Mrs. Akhtar?
Sohara, you unmute it. I can't hear you. You muted.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, probably it's
Sorry,
work now.
sorry.
Yeah,
I'm facing some connection problem. That's why.
yeah.
Can you ask me the question again? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you earlier.
Yes, Ms. Akhtar. Yes, you have discussed about the regarding the social media. Have you considered about the various types of social media?
No, actually, my main focus was Facebook as it is the most used social media in Bangladesh. And other than that, I preferred Zoom since it's getting popularity because of the pandemic situation. And it is my abstract paper. I'm still working on it, and the full paper is not yet ready. I'm just preparing my questionnaire for the next step. The whole presentation was based on literature review. Hello.
Yeah, okay, Sona. Probably Professor Premdasa got like hanged with the net issues and kind of things. So yeah, you rightly addressed the kind of questions the chair Premdasa had asked you. Thank you, Sona.
Thank you.
So if you have any questions, you can ask. If not, we can conclude the session.
Okay, so far I know that we from the audience side we do not have we don't get any questions, and from the chair side, me and Premdasa, we did talk with some of the issues. I think this is that for these sessions, and thank you all for joining these sessions, and thank you all for your presentations, the effort you made for this symposium. Again, I say it was wonderful to bring all the people in this platform. Thanks to National Institute of Library and Information Science, NLEAS, and South Asia Chapter of ASSIST. Thank you all.
A kind request, can everyone switch on your videos so we can have a official snapshot of the presenters and participants?
That's
and also be informed that you will be receiving a Google form, and you have to indicate your name and the title to be written in the certificate.
336. We need another 4, like I see here. Okay, 7, 8, including Ruan 9 and Me 10.
Okay.
I think that's that.
Right. Okay. Right. Thank you very much.
So thank you all.
Very much.
Yeah.
You can move to the next.
Yeah, we can move to the next session, session 2C.
Should we leave now?
Research started with the COVID-19 situation because now for Sri Lankans, the webinars, the concepts of webinars, using of Zoom, Teams, these were not very familiar until the COVID-19